Hello everybody, Lee here, and welcome back to another episode of Friendly Fish Keeping. In today's video, I wanted to do another tank showcase video. This time, we've got the brand new Black Moore Goldfish tank. So yeah, loaches have moved out. They're in the 75-gallon tank at my house now. And now I've got these guys.
Now this tank is actually the 40-gallon breeder tank that's in my work office. I wasn't planning on adding anything anytime soon, but then a situation arose where somebody was unable to take care of the larger Black Moore Goldfish seen here, and of course, I couldn't really say no to such a neat-looking fish. Now, before I get into the species profile of the Black Moore Goldfish, I did want to briefly talk about the tank setup. Now, as most of us are aware, things are not exactly cheap these days. I wanted to take a look at my old equipment and see if there was anything I could use for this tank. Try to save some money here. Now, the tank and the stand, of course, I already had, and the light was one I had bought some time ago, but it wasn't really strong enough for my growing plants. But as you can see, it's actually growing the pothos here in the tank just fine, so I'm actually going to stick with it. The pothos itself is just from clippings from my other tanks, so I was able to propagate those. No money spent on plants there. I still don't really have a proper light stand, so for now I'm just using two Tupperware containers. They're like two Chinese food Tupperware containers to hold the light up. I am using an old air pump that honestly is kind of noisy, which is why I never use it at my house, but it seems to work fine here. I did have to buy some new airline tubing and sponge filters. The sponge filters will be great as they create a porous surface area for beneficial bacteria to grow on, and they're also going to add extra oxygen to the tank, which goldfish love. I also added my original hang-on back filter from my African clawed frog tank. This was the filter that originally came with the 55-gallon top fin aquarium. I found this thing just sitting in my basement gathering dust, so I'm glad I'm able to put it to good use. I did purchase another digital thermometer and a new heater. While Black Moore Goldfish are cold water fish, they don't do well when the temperature fluctuates. And it doesn't help that this tank is right next to a door that constantly is opening and closing, letting cold air in, especially during the winter. But this heater is set to 72 degrees, and that's going to keep things consistent. Black Moore Goldfish do enjoy a temperature range about 65 to 78 degrees, so I've just been keeping the temperature at about 72 degrees, and they seem to be enjoying that. Also, if you are enjoying this video so far, please hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe, as it really does help out the channel. Now let's get into the species profile of the Black Moore Goldfish. Now, I wanted to talk about the Black Moore Goldfish and how to take care of them. Now, Black Moore Goldfish are a peaceful and hardy type of fancy goldfish. They have chubby bodies, double tails, and they have large, delicate, telescope-looking eyes. They're very neat and definitely very derpy looking. Now, Black Moors are best paired with other slow-moving, fancy goldfish as they do not have the best vision, and it does take them time to find their food. If you put a faster fish in there, that fish is going to go for the food. It's going to eat all the food before these guys even have a chance to find it. So you really want somebody in there that's going to be moving, at the same pace as the Black Moor, so everybody's got a fair shot at finding food. Now, Black Moore Goldfish can grow anywhere from 6 to 8 inches. It's rare, but I did read that they can possibly grow to 9 to 10 inches. If they're taken care of properly, they can live about 10 to 15 years. That's a pretty long time. As far as tank size goes, 20 gallons is the minimum for one Black Moor. 30 is better as they are very messy and they're going to produce a lot of waste. So having a bigger tank is going to help you keep the water quality nice and clean. You're going to have more wiggle room when it comes to dealing with their excess waste. I've got a 40-gallon breeder here that should be fine for just 2 Black Moors. You can also put plants like pothos in the aquarium to help absorb ammonia and nitrate and help keep the water quality clean. You could also add floating plants like frogbit or duckweed, but just a warning, they will graze and likely eat all of them. They're omnivores, they love to graze the floating plants, so if you dump those in there, they're probably going to eat them all. Luckily, my 5-gallon shrimp tank is also in the office, and that thing is always generating duckweed. So now when I have too much duckweed, I can just put it in the tank. It's also a shrimp-only tank, so I don't have to worry about cross-contamination, so it's kind of nice to have a place I can just dump all my floating plants when the tank gets overcrowded. As far as pH goes, Black Moore Goldfish enjoy a range of 6.5 to 7.5. Now, as far as water changes go, I've been doing about 25% weekly and gravel vacuuming every single time because, again, Black Moore Goldfish produce tons of waste. Having a bare bottom tank actually makes it very easy to see all the waste. It makes it a lot easier to clean. I think doing 25% water changes in my case is fine just because, I also have the pothos helping out with absorbing the nitrates and any ammonia. I think if I find that even with the pothos, the nitrates are going higher than 30 to 40 parts per million, I'm may need to bump it up to 50% water change, but right now I'm just sticking with 25%. We'll see how that goes. I know I had mentioned that the tank is bare bottom, and let me explain why. You'll notice the tank is it's pretty empty, so I do plan on keeping the tank bare bottom with no decor in order to make cleaning all the excess waste a lot easier. I've done a decent amount of research on Black Moors, and I agree with other fish keepers online here that keeping their tank clean is going to be a higher priority than having an enrichment for them. I wouldn't say they have zero enrichment though, as the pothos will constantly be growing. That's going to be something that's constantly changing for them in the tank. I also have 2 fish in the tank, so at least he's got a buddy. Black Moors are pretty social, and they thrive when they have other fish in the tank, so I think it's good to have at least 1 buddy in there. If you do have to add decorations in your tank, I would just add soft, fake, or live plants, or like a sandy substrate. Nothing sharp. Black Moors have terrible eyesight, so you just don't want anything sharp in there that they can poke their eyes with or bump into. You don't want them bumping into any sharp objects. And then as far as the food goes, I've been rotating between sinking pellets and algae wafers, as these guys are omnivores. I would avoid any flake foods or anything that's going to float at the surface, as the goldfish will suck in the air while trying to eat, and this can lead to issues like swim bladder disease. The pellets will also expand when they get wet, so instead of having them expand in the fish's stomach, I would just soak them for a few minutes and then feed them to the fish. This way they're going to be easily digestible. I haven't tried this yet, but I heard they also enjoy blanched zucchini, like shelled peas, spinach, broccoli, lots of veggies. I mean, I know they eat the floating plants, so I'm sure they're going to love this stuff. But yeah, that's about it for this tank for now. Goldfish care is new territory for me, and it can be challenging because of all that waste they produce, but I think as long as you keep the stock low, as I usually do, keep the water clean, have plants absorbing ammonia and nitrate, folks will be just fine. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, do hit the like button, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks again for watching.